you are using ChatGPT, you are using artificial intelligence related platforms, even if you are using your phone for regular payments, all those things, all those growing digital and AI world is having some hidden environmental cost. This news article from today's The Hindu, is very good interlinkage between technology and environment. Technology and environment, how the growing technology can have adverse impacts on our environment, this we need to understand. Whatever things you have studied, that is okay, but this is a new perspective related to digital and AI world. How? First thing is that it says that there is a term called invisible water footprint. Invisible water footprint. That means impact of the technology, usage of technology, and an impact in terms of water consumption, and that impact is invisible. We are not able to notice it. For example, suppose there is air pollution. So we are able to notice that smokes are coming out of the chimneys. That is visible. That has been quantified also. The same way water pollution, that has been quantified. But there are emerging technologies which are consuming water, and we have not yet quantified it. So that's why it is invisible, and water footprint means impact on the water resources. So it says a rough idea that ChatGPT, if you are having nearly 20 to 50 exchanges with ChatGPT, it will consume nearly half a liter of water. This type of examples, this type of, you can say, small anecdotes, you can give in your answers. So it has a hidden environmental cost of rising dependence on AI. As we are growing to become dependent on artificial intelligence, the environmental impact in terms of hidden environmental cost in terms of water consumption is also increasing. Now we need to understand how it is so happening. First thing, it is talking about data centers. AI digital world cannot work without effective and proper data centers. Huge servers are required. So it says that India is racing to become a global hub of data centers. And if we are going for data centers, there will be consumption of electricity, right? And that consumption of electricity will indirectly be related to use of water. Other than this, there is one more thing like cooling of the data centers or servers. That also requires water. So water is being used in two ways. One is in the way of production of electricity, and the other as cooling off. The cooling aspect is not written in this article, that I am telling from my side. And now two concerns that have been highlighted in this article is that these data centers are being installed, are being built in places in states which already have difficulties in meeting their water needs. Suppose there is a state which is struggling with water for like its own public, water for basic necessities, drinking water, water for daily needs, and in that state data centers are being promoted. So that means water consumption will increase. This is one thing. Second thing that it highlights is that many data centers do not disclose water consumption figures. Second issue this article highlights is that we should have proper data in the terms of whatever a server system, a company, a digital company, AI company setting up its server in particular state or wherever it is, how it is consuming that water, how it is sourcing that water, whether it is potable water being used or reclaimed or groundwater being used. These things need to be disclosed by that company. If you are using water, you should at least maintain proper data sets, proper facts, like your water use of water is coming from what kind of source, and what is the amount of water that you are consuming. These data, if we have, these facts, if we have, then we can have informed policy making. So these two things are being identified in this article. It also suggests something. It says that water stressed regions could require stricter permitting, drought restrictions, and greater use of reclaimed water. Even if you are setting your data centers in some water stressed estates, their restrictions or rules can be a bit more stricter, like you should be using reclaimed water, recycled water. Then it says that mostly the data centers are clustered in a single place and will drain out all of the water in the region. So ultimately it is about consumption of water. Location of the data centers, whether it is located in the water stressed regions, whether they are maintaining proper facts, proper figures, what is the consumption level, how much amount they are consuming, these things are needed. It also connects, gives some central ground board or central groundwater boards some data that India's overall stage of groundwater extraction is this much percent, with 11.1% classified as overexploited. Overexploited means draws more groundwater than the nature replaces. And this Gautam Buddha Nagar in UP, that is Noida region, has at least 17 operational or upcoming data centers, and its groundwater extraction rate is 104%, means it is more than the water being replenished. So this is something we should be concerned about. In the name of development, in the name of digital or AI world, we should be thoughtful about this, because if these data centers keep up coming unregulated or keep up consuming the water, the groundwater, the potable water, then ultimately the human survival will be at risk. So this is something, an emerging topic again, and a few days ago also this kind of news has appeared in the Hindu. So you can expect more editorials, more articles to come related to this technology and environment, particularly digital and AI world. And this is like groundwater, and you should work on it. Second article that we will look today, that is very small article. This is three core basic fact related things. First thing is, there is a body called NMDC. This is a public sector body, NMDC. It particularly relates to extraction of iron ore or minerals. What is important in this article? First thing, there's NMDC is an iron ore producer. This is a public sector unit, fair enough. It extracts iron ore and sells to the market. That is its core function. Now it has reduced iron ore prices. It has reduced. We should understand why it is being reduced, because iron is a very basic mineral, and why it is being reduced. So it says that iron production has increased, but its sales are not picking up. So iron ore production has increased, but its sale is not picking up. So there is a mismatch between supply and demand. So supply has increased, but demand is not picking up. That means prices will go down. So this is one concept, application of basic static concept over here. Second, you should understand here is, there are two types of iron ore, lump iron and fines. Lump ore means it is available in the larger pieces, larger stone pieces. Fines means it is available in very small fine pieces. This lump ore has more commercial utility, so it is usually a bit costlier as compared to this fines. So lump ore is has been set at 5200 and 4500 for fines. So why I am telling you this, why I have picked it as important, because UPSC has already asked in prelims questions regarding different types of crude and how the crudes are priced in India. So iron ore is also very important. So what are the different iron ores that you can tell me, and which is the public sector company involved in the extraction and selling of iron ores? What are the different kinds of iron ores extracted in India? These you should understand, these basic nuances you should understand. Third article pertains written over here itself is, social media platforms. So the Information Technology Act that India is having, that deals with the regulation of these social media platforms. So this section 79 of the IT Act, Information Technology Act, it grants intermediaries a safe harbor for liability for third party content. Here you should understand what is an intermediary. So an intermediary is just a middleman. So this is the source of the content and this is the consumer of the content. This is the creator. This is the consumer. How this creator's content will reach to the consumer? It will reach through a platform. The creator will upload his or her content on the platform, and the platform will showcase those content to the consumer. So this platform is actually acting as an intermediary. It will be called only an intermediary if it is not intervening, not interfering in terms of what kind of content is to be shown. The intermediary should not intervene. It should remain neutral. Whatever content is coming, that is directly being relayed to the consumer, and consumer is deciding which one to watch, which one not to watch, which one to skip. If the intermediary is having this type of core function, then that intermediary under section 79 of IT Act will have a safe harbor, will be entitled to safe harbor provision. This safe harbor provision provides it certain legal protections. Obviously, you should be complying with some prescribed conditions, but the intermediary will be having some legal protections in terms of third-party content. For example, suppose the creator uploads some very anti-government or some hate-related content, and it through the intermediary it passes through the consumer. The intermediary is not having any role in it, whether to stop it or it remains neutral. Then in that case, government may consider our legal provisions may consider that, okay, this is not interfering. So the liability lies at the creator, because that creator has made that bad motive wala content. This is about intermediaries and the legal protections they are having. Now, the issue here is that the government says that social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, which are owned by this Meta, they have some sort of algorithm. One is algorithm, second is paid content. Algorithm. That algorithm actually decides what users can see. Right, based on our algorithm, based on our watch history, Instagram or Facebook or other social media platforms as well, they used to suggest us the next content that we are going to see, going to watch. So their algorithm actually interfering, and that algorithm is deciding what kind of content is to be watched by the consumer. So they are not acting as a neutral intermediary. This is the first concern. Second concern the government has raised about the paid content. Paid content means users, content creators are paying Instagram, and Instagram is promoting those content. So this promotion of the content, this again, intermediary is not remaining neutral. Intermediary is actually actively promoting that specific content for which it has been paid for. So this neutrality concept, the core meaning of the intermediary under section 79, the government feels that this needs to be relooked, because these platforms are not qualifying to be considered or called a plain intermediary. They are actually acting as a publisher, because they are deciding what content is shown and to whom. Because this is publishers, suppose there is a newspaper, The Hindu, their editorial team is deciding which news article to publish and which to skip. So their editorial team is deciding. So the same way, if you take it into digital world, the platforms, the algorithm, the platforms like Instagram, Facebook, they are actually deciding what kind of content is to be shown and to whom. They are doing the profiling, they do profiling of their users. So this is an emerging news again. This is about how to regulate the intermediaries, social media platforms, how to regulate, what are the challenges in their regulation. So if as the news emerges, obviously there will be more arguments in context of algorithm, paid content, and whether they are acting as a publisher or not. So we need to keep an eye on this, because this will emerge and this is going to become a very good, very relevant topic for your UPSC examination.